What's up everyone, this is Asudullah Chaudhary. So today we're going to look into the Jquery selectors and let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to start from the ID selector. For this I have to create some elements. Para1. This is my para1. Simple enough. Let's go to our script.js file and target this element. So always remember, in order to target the specific ID of specific tag, you're gonna type hashtag followed by the ID name, which is para1. It's para1. Let me make it p1, the short ID p1. So hashtag p1, it should be in the quotes. Dot click some action okay var p text. I'm gonna grab this text inside this p tag, the text which is contained by this paragraph tag. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write dollar hashtag p1 dot html alert p text. So what it's gonna do is, as soon as this paragraph gets clicked, this function will be performed. Line number 2 will be executed, the text will be grabbed, that will be assigned it this variable p text, and then on line number 3 alert box will be shown with the message, this is my para1. Let's go back, refresh. If I click this para, this is my para1. Now let's go back and let's do some other example. Let's try to target this element using its name, the tag name. Tag name is also a selector. You can use the tag name as a selector. P. So currently we have this only paragraph tag. So let's try this one more time using the tab name. It's working. This is my para1. So let's go back and make it a little interesting. Copy, paste. I have to change this ID since the IDs should be unique. You cannot use same IDs. You cannot assign same ID to more than one elements on the same document, on the same file. It's not allowed. It will work, but it's not standard. So I won't suggest you. So currently I'm going to target the paragraph tag. So what paragraph tag? I really don't know. I have 2 paragraph tags. Refresh, para1, para2. If I click para1, this is my para1. Let's go back. If I click para2, this again says this is my para1. So it's not working. So let's try to make it work. I'm gonna replace this part with this keyword. You can call it a keyword, or you can call it a variable, or you can call it an object. What does it mean? Most of the students gets confused when they see this this keyword. So let me try to explain you. I hope you get the idea. Okay, so as soon as this paragraph gets clicked, this represents the current element, this paragraph, this one, and the text will be grabbed, that will be assigned this to you. I mean, for example, if I click this para1, the para1's text will be grabbed, that will be assigned to the p text variable, and that will be alerted in the box. Let's go back and check it out in our browser. Refresh. If I click P1, it's working. This is my para 1. And if I click P2, this is my para 2. Excellent. Now it's working. So now let's try to use a class selector. You can assign the same class to one or more elements. Para. So instead of P, this time I'm going to type dot para. And again dot para. So again we have the same example, but instead of using the paragraph tag, we're gonna use the para class, the class selector. Refresh. If I click this para 2, it's again not working. So again I have to remove this part, line number 2, dot para. This should be replaced with this keyword just to make it work. This means the current element that has been clicked in our case. This always represents the current element. Okay, so if I click para 2, it's working. This is my para 2. If I click para 1, this is my para 1. I hope you get the idea. Okay, let's now make this example a bit more interesting. This is 3, this is 4. Let me change the IDs as well. Sorry, yes, IDs as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this time let's do something more interesting. I'm going to replace it with, let's try to use the asterisk selector, that is also called the all selector. I'm going to count the total elements on this document. So total elements are, the first element is HTML, then head 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11. So altogether we have 11 elements on this document, excluding this line number 1. This is not the part of HTML. This tag, the doc type, just defines the version of your document. So currently I'm using HTML5. So this is how you define the version of HTML5. This is the right syntax. Okay, so on script.js I'm going to write some script just to calculate the total elements on this page. So what I'm going to do is var total elements equals to dollar hash, sorry, not hash, is it's called asterisk dot length. This time I'm going to use console.log. Total elements. Let's go back to our browser. Let me open up, first I have to refresh the page. Now let's open up developer tools. I pressed F12. So here's the output. It says you have 11 elements altogether. So what are the 11 elements? This time I'm gonna remove this length because I want to check all of the other details, all of the available elements. Refresh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So altogether we have 11 elements. So it's an array. So whenever you try to grab more than one elements, I mean if you're using class selector or the tag name selector, you will be returned an array of objects. So all of these tags are considered an object. Okay, so let's go back and So you got the idea how you can select all the elements on your document. So how you gonna select the specific elements in a specific area? For example, I mean all the elements in a specific area. So let's wrap these paragraphs in a div tag. I'm gonna copy these paragraph tags in a div tag. So now the div tag is a parent tag, the parent element, and it has 4 child elements which are the paragraph tags. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna specify, let's give it some class as well, parent or my div space and asterisk. This is called descendant selectors. This will select all the elements inside my div. Why this is called descendant selector? Because these paragraphs are the child elements of this my div, this div tag. These are also be called the descendants of this div tag. I hope you got the idea. And if I go back and refresh, so it says I'm using the class selector. I forgot to put full stop over here, the dot. Refresh. So it has 4 descendants. The first descendant is P1, then P2, then P3, then P4. So the count starts from 1, but if you are checking these paragraphs, the first paragraph is on index number 0 because it's an array of objects. It will also return an array of objects. So the first object is on index number 0. The second index is on index number 1. The third object of paragraph is on index number 2. The fourth object of paragraph is on index number 3. What I mean to say is this return the array of objects, the array of paragraph. So let me give you the proof. Let me type 0 over here. I'm just gonna check what is the 0th element. Refresh. So the 0th element is P class para and its ID is P1. This is my para1 P. So this was the 0th element, this one. The count starts from 1. I mean 1, 2, 3, 4. The count goes to 4. Okay, so if you want to use any specific element, then the 0th index or the 0th element is your first element, because this returns an array of elements. So the array always starts from 0, index number 0. The array index number 0 contains this paragraph 1. Array index number 1 contains paragraph 2, and so on. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna add some more detail over here. Span tag. I put this span tag, the text, over here for a reason. Let's go back and let's refresh. Or let me change this part. Refresh. So now it says it has 5 descendants including span. Descendants of what? Descendants of div tag, my div. So this instruction, this selector says select all the descendants of my div. So P1 is also the descendant of this div tag, span, P2, P3, P2. All of these tags are descendants of this my div. Let's go back and try to be more specific. There is another selector which is called immediate child selector, the real child selector. So what does it mean? Let's try to understand. This paragraph tag is the child element of this div. This is absolutely correct. This also the child element of this div tag. This also the child element of this div tag. This also the child element of this div tag. Is span the child element of this div tag? No, absolutely not. Span tag could be the descendant of this div tag, but it cannot be the immediate child of this div tag. It is the child, it is the immediate child of this paragraph tag, the first paragraph tag, but it cannot be the immediate child of this div tag. So let's go back and check it out in our browser. Refresh. So this time I returned a result that says the immediate childs of div are p1, p2, p3 and p4. So the span tag is not here, since the span tag is the immediate child of this paragraph. It's not the immediate child of this div. Okay, so there are some more selectors as well. For example, I want to select this p1 tag, the first paragraph. So what I'm going to do is, all I have to write p. So p means all the p tags. So I have to be specific. I'm talking about the first one. First child. Let's go back. So I successfully got the first child. First child of type P. So I got the first child, which is P1, which has a P1 ID. So this is you can make things a bit specific. So now I'm going to target the even numbered paragraphs. Even. So this time this tag will be selected. I mean the first paragraph tag, the second paragraph, I mean the third paragraph tag. Why third and first? Because this is the zeroth element. So 0 is always considered as the even number. 1 is the odd number, line number 12, and 2 is also the even number. So in a result, I'll get these two elements, the P1 and P3. Let's go back and try this in our browser. Refresh. So as I assumed, I got P1 and P3 because the P1 is on index number 0 and P3 is on index number 1. Alright. So you can even choose the odd numbers. Refresh. 0, paragraph number 2 and paragraph number 4. Okay, so let's do something else. Let's try to change the style of these odd numbers paragraph. I'm going to remove this. I'm going to remove this as well. .css background, and the background is gonna be yellow. Refresh. So I selected the odd numbered elements. 0th paragraph tag, first paragraph tag. So 1 is odd, that's why this is my para 2. The para 2 has been selected. This is para 3. This is actually para 3. But if you start your count directly, then it would be element number 1, element number 2, 3 and 4. But if you are talking about the index numbers, so always remember, whenever you're grabbing more than one elements using the tag name or class selectors, you will be returned an array of elements. So the array always starts from the 0th index. So this odd selector also starts from 0. I mean from the very first element. I mean, if I replace it with even, now the first element will be considered as the even number element as well as the third one. Why? Because it's the 0th element, it's on 0th index, and this is on index number 2. 0th, first, index number 2. So I hope you get the idea what I tried to explain you. And if you get stuck somewhere, you can come back to me, you can contact me, or you can leave a comment, or you can join my group and you can post your questions. I'll definitely get back to you and help you out with it. Alright, so this is it for this lesson, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Alright then, take care, bye bye.